Hi everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Today's cards are made using Distress Oxide inks, watercoloring with those, and I'm also using Simon Says stamp Fruit from the Heart, and I just think this stamp set is really a cool stamp set. So I've lined up my images. I want my fruit going up and down, and then the word U next to it, and the apple would be the O in the word U. So I'm lining that up in my Misti. Getting that nice and straight. Sorry about my head, you guys. Making sure my images line up good, and it's fine that they kind of go off the edge because it really does look better than everything just kind of floating in the center. So prepping my watercolor cardstock with my anti-static tool because I'm going to be using white embossing powder. I took off the letters Y and U because I just want to stamp my pieces of fruit. And I did that with Simon Says Stamp Clear ink. Inked that up really good. Get the white embossing powder. And these are solid images, so these work really good. Also, you know, it's good to stamp solid images with a bunch of colored inks. That's a great way to go. But I'm kind of doing it in reverse. So heat set that with your tool. Make sure it's nice and hot. You get less warping on your paper. But when I'm doing in reverse, I'm having the white image and then the color around it. So now I lined up my letters next to my apple, and I'm going to be inking that up with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. Stamp that up a couple times to get a nice crisp image, and I really love the way these letters look. I like how thin they are. Now, something I did, you guys, because I'm kind of a ding-dong, I forgot to record me coloring the other one, so I had to make a second image. So as you can see on this one, there's no letters on this. So I've ended up making two cards. You'll see how it comes together. But I am showing you how I'm watercoloring. The colors I'm using of Distress Oxide inks are Picked Raspberry, Cracked Pistachio, Abandoned Coral, and Squeezed Lemonade. And I'm using Tim Holtz Glass Media Matte for this. So you can see off to the right side there, you can just squish your ink onto it, take your water brush pen or whatever you have. I just squeezed a little bit of water so I could kind of put on a thin layer first, and then I will come back and add a little bit darker. And then now you can see these pieces of fruit starting to pop out, and you can see them. Don't pretend to be someone who can watercolor. This is just how Joy does it. So again, laying down a lighter color, dabbing off some of, if it's a little too wet, I dab off some of that color. And then I come back and add a little bit, some darker spots around the pieces of fruit. So this is the Cracked Pistachio. I kind of matched up the colors to the pieces of fruit, if that makes sense at all. So the banana had yellow, the apple had red, the pear is the Cracked Pistachio, and then the strawberries will be the Picked Raspberry. So I'm kind of just giving it like a little halo effect. I mean, honestly, you could do this with any solid stamped image. And even though this is a super simple card and it came together really quick, it to me makes a big statement. The color really stands out because you've just got this white background. So finishing up the spots here on the strawberry. Now this is the second image, and I think I got a dot of the Distress ink on here, so I just went with it and decided to add some splatter effects, which you'll see here. Yep, see, there was a little dot of ink that was not going to erase off. So I grabbed a different paintbrush, got it really wet, dipped it in. We're just going to go with it and do the splatter effect. But I like how it turned out for the second card. The original card that I had in mind, this part doesn't really work, but you'll see the two cards come together. So again, just adding a little bit more water with my Distress sprayer and just kind of flicked stuff all the way around. Dab off anything off of the embossed areas with a paper towel, and you can, just set this aside and let it dry. It dried really quick because it wasn't super wet, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Okay, So here's my original card that I did not color on camera. So I already stamped the Y and the U. Now I'm lining up. It says thank you. The sentiment says thank you. So I need to mask off the word you, and just so I can stamp the word thank. And I have the word thank, just the end of the K overlapping onto the Y. I just like how that looked. Again, I like how dainty these sentiments are, these words, these letters. You've got the bold black, but it doesn't take over your whole design. You know, the fruit and the color still stands out great. So I'm going to attach that to a side fold A2 sized card. Just line that up. I just attached it with a tape runner. And that's how I'm leaving. I'm not adding any other embellishments. I think it's a great, simple, beautiful card. Okay, so here's for that second piece that you saw me color. I trimmed it down, and I'm going to adhere that to a black piece of cardstock. And it's slightly smaller than A2 sized. I mean, maybe a 1/4 inch on each side. Just trim off any excess that's laying over. Then I'm going to line up the letters Y and U. I'm using those same letters, lining them up on the side because I am going to heat emboss those also with white embossing powder. So this time I did the card a little bit differently. I lined it up with the pair being the O. Get out your T-square, make sure things are straight because I'm kind of notorious for making things crooked. And then I am using a different script font sentiment that says thank. So we get the same thank you. So that has the U on it, so I just need to mask that off again. Now you could cut apart your sentiments, but I do that sometimes. On these ones, I just didn't need to. It was so easy to just mask it off. So inking that up with my Simon Says Stamp clear ink, pushing that down really good, and then getting my white embossing powder. I did treat the paper with my anti-static tool so you don't have any little things, but I still did. When you're all done heat setting this, especially on a darker cardstock, you need to take like a soft rag or something or a paper towel, gently wipe off that excess from the powder bag. So attaching this to a top fold card base, and that card is done. Look how great those look, you guys. I am totally in love with these. Thank you for watching. You guys bless me every single day. If you like what you've seen, please thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment. I love all of those. All the supplies I used are listed in the description box below. I also have some affiliated links. It costs you guys nothing, but it helps me to continue to create for you guys. Thank you so much.